Hello everybody and welcome back to Epic Land 36 of Valorant. Obviously we're part of the Beacon circuit, as you can see all around. I am Rook and I'm joined by Ranar as we are bringing you yet another best of one today between Gladius and EKO.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Gladius are unbeaten, if I'm not mistaken, in their group. Eco are going 4-1, so it should be a really, really good game for us. And, well, I'm glad to be here. It's my first cast for Valorant of the day, and the first cast of Valorant for a while. And I think it should be a pretty good one. Looking at some of the past games these teams have already played, what are we expecting from this now?
Well, honestly, Gladius have been playing fantastic all day. We saw some great performances from them, I believe, in the first matchup of the day. I know I casted it. I don't remember if it was first or second at this point. But it was really, really well played from them. We saw some really exciting play. And I've been down on the actual game floor, basically, in the actual LAN hall. And EKO's spirits are very high. They are shouting all over the place. They're smack talking, not too hard, not too bad, but you know they're putting out the vibes. That's the most important thing.
I mean, it wouldn't be a UK LAN if they weren't smack talking. I feel like that's what brings it here. And well, one thing to explain is, well, we are here for Beacon, as you're explaining. And if some people are unaware of it, we have multiple tournaments that are going on. So we had the Leagues GG one that was pretty much 2 weeks ago, and then before that was actually the DreamHack LAN. So this is the second LAN that's a part of it, and this is also the second last tournament in the Beacon system. Guild is the next one, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And I think that's a few tournaments as well in one. I don't think it's one single tournament. I'm not too sure about that one. I was talking to some players, and I feel like I need to get my facts straight a little bit with that one. But this is not the end of the Beacon tournaments. The penultimate one, still, the point is they're very close, because especially as this was LAN, I was trying to this on the Leagues GG one. I was saying that like a lot of teams won't be able to be here. Yeah, you're getting a lot of points. I think if you win this, you get somewhere between 250 and 300 points if you win. And that can, straight away, if you win this, you always pretty much automatically in top 10. Yeah. And so if teams aren't here that are already doing quite well, as soon as they come here, and even if they don't have any points, they can straight away get a pretty good seeding. And I think top 40 is by large what teams would be aiming for as a minimum.
Yeah, and right now, Gladius sitting at 14th place, I believe, with 55 points, if my memory serves me correctly, and they're definitely looking to try and crack the upper crust here, put themselves in at that top 8 at the very least, to try and, you know, solidify their position, put themselves in a good spot so that they can have some success and obviously qualify for the Beacon's playoffs, which would certainly be exciting to see. But they're not just fighting for that, they're also fighting out for some money. I believe that it's £1,250 prize pool, but I'm not exactly sure what my notes are no longer here. So
no, I think there's some there, but under a pile of things. But while we're looking for those, and when you're talking about prize pool, you said that you did. Oh yeah, the first place is that 2,000 total. Very nicely done. A little bit lower than someone like the CS ones, but we're still getting there. And especially,
you don't need to flex. I'm just saying.
He
comes over from CS.
I'm just saying.
For one game, and he's already talking smack. Can't believe.
Just saying. But you were saying that you've watched Gladius today, and you were down and you were looking at Eco. What are the players we want to be looking at them?
On Eco, I think, honestly, as a whole, they're a fantastic team. That's the really big thing about them. I think we'll have to watch it and see who pops up on the day for Eco. But for Gladius, I'm really keeping an eye on Mercedes Peak. In the first game of the day, they were absolutely fantastic over on that Viper. Over on the Fade, if I remember correctly, and had such a fantastic performance, just finding frag after frag after frag on Ascent, where they were getting really good flanks out, pushing up really well, and communicating with the team as well. And that's something that Gladius, I think, have really improved on recently. And if Mercedes Peak can leverage that well, they're definitely one to watch.
That's not too bad then. And I think we're in for a pretty decent game. Talking about maps, do you feel like either of these teams have a lenience to be going into certain maps? I'm not too sure. I'm coming into this one almost like a little bit blind from the team. So is there a sign that we might be expecting from one of these two teams to be picking into?
I think for the most part, these teams are, while they are teams, they have been together at least a period of time. They're not the kind of teams that are cracking really hard on some of the stranger maps, like you saw other teams earlier picking out that Breeze, or maybe trying to ban towards Fracture. These teams are going to be banning those two maps. I wouldn't be surprised to see another Ascent, or perhaps another Icebox. I know it's bog standard at this point, but it would make a lot of sense. We've been seeing a lot of teams, however, including EKO. They've played a couple of games of Haven, which would certainly be exciting. I think that might be the first time we have it on. No, we did have it on stream already, but it would be great to have it again, because it's a very interesting map.
I think it's a pretty fun map as well. Yeah, I'm still kind of getting my grips into Valorant a little bit, and I know you're not going to like this, but I'm a dirty Cypher main. So Haven, I do enjoy playing a little bit. Cyphers, they get a little bit of bad hate, I feel like, but maybe we might see one in today's games, depending on what map we see.
I think he's definitely effective, especially on Haven. I think that is his best map, because otherwise you're like, I want to take the lockdown on Killjoy if I'm running something similar. Or you want to just be playing, Chamber or anything of the sort. I honestly hope to see some more Fade. If we're on Ascent, I think Fade is fantastic there. I think Icebox, she can have a lot of success as well, but at the same time, I think Sova is just such a strong agent, and he has been for such a long time, that it wouldn't be a surprise to see teams still picking that up even now.
Yeah, well, especially putting Sova in maybe like the he can be really powerful, but is it right in saying the maps that are a little bit more like nook and cranny where you can hide around the corners, his ability to expose areas isn't as useful? And with Sova, it's kind of like the opposite of that, of like the longer ranged, like something like you look at like Breeze, and you look at a Sova on like a Fade on Breeze isn't too good, because it's just like so spread out and way too big. And I know Brandon, he's a big fan of the Fade. When that first started coming in, me and him, my little duo over there, B-Dog, little birthday boy over there, he was maining Fade, and we were very much enjoying that. And it shows how much it can that hero, the character can control a game completely effectively. And if someone plays it correctly, it's just also so annoying to play against. I feel like that's one of the main things as well. It's just so like, oh, can you guys stop this, please?
Yeah, I think as well it really pairs well with a KO.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. I'm a big KO fan.
Honestly, I respect that. I want to be a KO fan, but I'm just not good enough yet.
I'm not good either, but I keep on playing it anyway. I love my big robot boy. The fact that you can obviously get a lot of information with him as well and have a fantastic kind of initiated duo in the information gathering department, and also deny a lot of that utility is absolutely fantastic, and means that Fade really can go to town, really can control the game, like you were mentioning. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those kind of combos as well. And obviously kind of map dependent, what we're seeing in terms of the controller will definitely be interesting. We won't likely be seeing any Astra from Gladius, but I think I saw EKO playing it earlier. I might have been getting them mixed up with another team, but they at least were happy to run it on some maps. It depends on what it is. I think obviously there are some maps where it's not particularly good, and generally you want to be running Viper on those maps anyway, right? Especially if you're playing Icebox, playing the Breeze, playing any of the big maps.
I feel like he's the pivotal. Yeah. One thing I do want to say, as we are just waiting and we've been waffling for a while, probably going to send into a little ad break, and we hopefully will be back momentarily. Players aren't in the server yet, and I think it might be for quite a while. So hopefully we can throw it to a quick ad break, and we'll see you guys after the break.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Epic Land 36 Valorant powered by Intel. We are bringing you the Beacon series here yet again. Looking for those qualification points are Gladius versus EKO. As we said before, Gladius in that 14th place currently with 55 points, and I don't believe the EKO have any, or they're lower down than that. So you know what? Doesn't matter. Low elo players, we'll ego them.
Hey, what's wrong with low elo players? I'll have you know that some players at this LAN, who I won't mention any names, Square, and they're slightly higher ranked than me, but sometimes it doesn't show in our pugs. That's all I'm going to say. But going back to this one now, Haven will be the map we are playing, and this was map that we were talking about. We were like, oh, it'd be nice to see it, but we're not sure we see it. We do see it, and then we were mentioning, I mentioned the Cypher. I mentioned this could be a map for the Cypher. Let's see if it comes out. I don't think we've got the picks yet for the individual teams, but who are we expecting to see in this? Character-wise.
I mean, I think Cypher's not an impossibility, certainly. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Astra. I think this is a map where Astra's really good.
Yeah, we were talking about Fade already.
I think this is actually a Sova map for me, but I don't think Fade's bad here. I think Fade's fantastic, like, in general, so I don't think it's too much of a problem. The one thing I'm surprised as anything to see is that Neon for Shiraishi. That's a bit of a surprise to me entirely, because normally you'd have something like the Raze who's a little bit better at kind of controlling space with her paint shells or something like that, and I think that's a really good call. But the Neon does mean you have a little bit more ability to play dynamically.
Oh yeah, the Neon can just be so annoying. Like this could be a little bit low elo, but playing in lobbies with Neon, oh my god, she's just so annoying. Playing against her, but the thing is, if you counter her correctly, and if you get into that mindset and you do it very easily, you can straight away just bam, she's out of the server. There's a lot of ways you can do that. The Omen as well, very strong. His use of smokes, kind of like the opposite to Astra. Looking at those two characters, which one would you say is more the favorable going into that one then?
I think on this map, Astra's fantastic because she can cover so many places so quickly, because she basically just has more stars, right? That's the simple answer.
Yeah.
Omen can only put out 2. Sure, they can be good and they regenerate, but he only puts out 2, maybe 3 a round. It's not quite the same as being able to chuck out utility after utility after utility. The problem is, Astra is a bit of a pain in the backside to play, especially after the nerfs.
Yeah.
She's not as overwhelming as she once was. But her ultimate's very good. She's got a lot of things available to her. And I think Halsey is a strong Astra player. So I'd be excited to see more of that.
It's an interesting one. Let's see what happens as well. By and large, I think the comps the backbones of it are very similar. You've got both the chambers, both the breaches, bog stand on that side, and then just kind of like the same idea, just different execution with it. And now we'll see how it pays off. Going straight into this one, EKO, they are on the attack, and defenses will be the Gladius. Let's see who comes out on top.
Well, indeed, already looks like they're pushing up a little bit towards that A site, trying to prep for it. Obviously got the breach ready to put in some of that utility, but definitely we don't want to push in raw, especially with Calm sitting here, who's been such a strong player when it comes to holding those angles. They're all trying to tap away, position given away, but no hard commits just yet. The thing is about Haven is, it is a bait and switch map, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, completely. And right now, the chamber as well can be very effective. Samo could definitely... Oh, yeah, you see the chamber fight straight away there. Both of them testing the waters. In the end, they will teleport out. And now it's going to be attack onto the A bomb side, the breach. We were talking about how effective it is, and he's going to come in right there. The shock charge is coming in left, right, and center. Trades going back and forth. Still a 4v4. The spike has not been planted yet. And yet again, the breach, his abilities are proving so effective. Mercedes Peak, you mentioned him. You said he was strong, and he's right there proving why. On for a 3K. Could get a 4th, but look at this from Wizzing. He's coming in. He gets that first kill with the Headhunter, switches to the Classic, and look at the HP on Cam. He's basically dead. Wizzing's going to be coming around the corner, and well, it's pretty much easy for him. Clutch 1v2, and EKO, they get the first round on the board.
Yeah, really nice of them to be able to set themselves ahead early, but also dealing with Mercedes Peak, who's been such a strong player. And I think, honestly, so far, the best Fade in this tournament. Maybe not necessarily statistically. I haven't seen absolutely everyone play, but I think Mercedes Peak is looking hella hot on that agent, and I'm definitely looking to see more and how they're going to kind of set up the rest of their team, which is a surprise considering how he's been playing. This is an agent that normally wants to be setting up for other people. But Mercedes Peak has been aggressive, has been the one to make a lot of these calls and using his information for his own purposes. Now, I want to see the rest of the team potentially backing him up on that, because that could be a massive amount of success here.
Ooh, Wizzing getting a little bit dangerous there. He does teleport away at the best time, but the Classic here as well doing a fair bit of damage. both sides, a lot of damage inflicted, but right now, I mean, obviously, Gladius, you don't expect anything from them. They're pretty much on the full eco, and, well, eco, they should definitely be picking this one up. I must say, if we're talking about jerseys, they're probably going to win, because their jerseys are goddamn pretty sexy, I must say.
They really, really are. And hey, you got to have the drip to win.
Oh, yeah, that's, well, yeah. And if they do want to send a jersey over, add to the collection.
Yeah, it certainly would be nice, but right now, they're just trying to send bullets over. Samo, who is that first point of contact, trying to land some shots, but it's run out of bullets in that high-powered pistol. Unfortunately, it's the Guardian which just takes them down, and the spray through from Shiraishi is more than enough to pick him up that second round, like you foretold.
Yeah, I mean, straight away, probably should be happening. It looked a little bit tight in moments. A lot of damage was inflicted, but no, Eco, they keep 4 players alive. The weapon will be great, and that's kind of what we see in this meta, especially having like a bonus round now. I think, is Alex, is he potentially even just going to stay on that Classic? Maybe get a Spectre? Probably, yeah, probably looking to upgrade to the Spectre, but this is where Gladius, they definitely should be taking this. They've got the 4 Vandals, they've got the 1 Phantom. On the face of it, on paper, they are looking like they should, but in the end, I think we've seen crazy things happen before.
We really have.
And he stayed with the Ghost.
I don't think it's a bad shout, right? Especially when you're on that initiating, you can really set up for the rest of your team. You don't need a weapon, and if they die, you can pick up their guns, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like on the bonus round, why waste money if you're going into this round almost expecting to lose it?
Mm-hmm. And if you win, you know what? It's a nice one.
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus. One might say it's a bonus.
Yeah, and the Breach as well already. We were mentioning this straight away, like the classic characters, and I think Breach can be one of those, like he can control and really just put a disrupt in any momentum that you have in any setups. And he's done that very effectively now. But the problem is, you see what he did there early. He used his ability, but Samo still has the ability to push forward with that chamber, gets that opening pick, teleports out, perfect. Really nice from the defenders so far, and that's straight away something that we haven't seen from Gladius.
I haven't seen it just yet. Gladius now with those high-power weapons as well, able to shut down a lot of the pushers coming in. You can already see them starting to move on up here and push onto that side, but they're right in the firing line. Nike is not taking a shot just yet. The Haunt doesn't give away his position, but the headshot certainly will. Almost finds a second, a third, nearly, but just barely doesn't find it. And it'll be the finish up from Halsey here that will close out the remaining lives of these two guys, and it's just Whizzing remaining.
I mean, we've seen Whizzing get a 1v2 before. He was a hero in the pistol round. He did pretty well in the last round as well with this Guardian. However, I feel like a tall order is an understatement. They're all converging on it. He's just picked up Spike. Will get that first pick, but finally traded out. Samo, he starts the round. He ends the round. That's perfect. They keep 3 players alive. That's good for the economy, and they're going to be pretty decent with credits. But now, this is where it matters for Gladius and the Eco as well, to be honest. This is probably one of the most important rounds of this first half.
I'm actually surprised that EK, well, they're on the attack, so it's not like too necessary, but I'm surprised they're not using the tour de force here and saving up for Whizzing, but trying to keep that econ pretty similar and kind of go from there. So I don't think it's too bad. I like that Gladius are just trying to, go out generally, make sure Halsey has enough utility. That's the most important thing, especially on this controller, on this Astra. She is so key with her utility because she's got such fantastic utility.
That was that was
double.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I was going to say that was very nicely done from the defensive there, just to momentarily stop them. And well, it was perfectly done, to be honest, from that breach. And now Samo being forced off. We were talking about the fade, how she can be really annoying. Point and Exhibit 1A there, but look at the rotations from Gladius. They've got 3 players on this A bomb side. They've basically completely left B. I think Fade's there quite close, but that's about it. Eco, if they walk onto this A bomb site dry with their smokes, they could be in for a rude awakening.
It really could be, especially with 2 players waiting right there, and especially with that chamber waiting. Karma's no slouch either. Concussion's going to come on through. No, the Haunt actually gives away the position, and they're going to have to use their utility to escape. But look who's waiting in the wings. This could be an easy frag, but Calm stays his course. And in fact, with Samo going down, that's unfortunate to see here.
Yeah, the fact that Khan is still alive here, as I'm saying that he will be neutralized, but the fact he stayed alive there is so good. It allows for the rotation to come in. Mike, though, dink down, somehow get a frag, and look at this now. They've got the advantage. They've got the man advantage. Neon and Fade all left alone for Eco. I'm pretty sure that the defenders know exactly where they are. Neon has her ultimate. She's going to, doesn't use it, just sticks with the Vandal, and it's all down to Fade right now. Is there any chance in hell?
I mean, hey, there's only 3 headshots to clear it out. Mike is ever so low. Just a single tap through those wooden boards. would lead to a kill, but you're so patient here on Rewind, and it's a mistake. Easily going to go down here to Halsey, and that's a good round in the bag.
Very nicely done as well, keeping 3 players alive. We were talking about the economy over on Eco, and we were saying, like, you know, could have used a tour de force. But speaking about Gladius now, economy not looking too bad. They keep 3 players alive again, and it's starting to slowly build forward in a momentum. This is what you want to be setting, like, start how you mean to go on. That's exactly what Gladius are doing right now.
Absolutely, and they've managed to keep both of those ultimates. They were thinking about using it, but kept it in the bank. And, you know, obviously, if you need to use it to win the round, use it. But otherwise, keep it there. Now in the next couple of rounds, obviously, they're going to close out this pistol. Maybe they'll invest in ultimate to make sure they don't lose anything and keep their eco going. But they've got a decent kind of lump sum, even if things go wrong. So use it to win those coming rifle rounds, because that's where it's going to be really, really important here. And something that you're definitely going to have to keep an eye on, because EKO have certainly shown that they are no slouches. You cannot give them any opportunity here, especially when you're against the attack on Haven. They can mess you around. They can jerk you around the entire map.
Yeah, and one thing I really like, looking at the Neon here, Shirashi, I don't understand what the play there was in that last round. It was a 2v3, and she solo pushes without her teammate. Not sure what the idea was there. Could have been a lot more winnable if he had stayed there and covered Rins, but overall, not too sure. But the amount of ultimates that Eco have in this round that they can actually use as a tour de force, and they also have the Neon on as well. They can go into this bomb site, and they don't have to use that much economy to do so. And potential, there could be some done, but no, Mike dealt with so well. He's got 2 kills already, looking for some more. His teammate will fall, but Mike, he's on fire. The Raze, it's out for blood. Put them in a 2-man advantage. It should probably stick, I'd say. Look at the economy when keeping at least 4 players alive here and really stabilize. And Mike, well, he is on for the ace. Whizzing, he used his ultimate, he used the tour de force, and he's got absolutely nothing from it. All he's going to do is gift Mike an ace, potentially.
Yeah, I hope. But Mike is actually potentially going to push out into that tour de force. There goes the bot, and the shot is missed, but he still hits it. Whizzing, peeks back on out for it, completely denies it. But regardless, it's a round that is actually pretty successful for them. They've managed to force out that tour de force, and that's a pretty nice pickup here, honestly. They're going to be covering this angle. It's easy for Samo there, and they go into the lead finally here. But this is the next round. Sorry, the next round is the most important one because EKO are going to be back on those rifles.
Yeah, exactly. And they did use 2 ultimates into that, and both ultimates pretty much found nothing on the duality of it. Gladius have been saving theirs. They've been preserving it, and, well, you can see they're looking pretty healthy right now. As soon as an execute comes in, and as soon as they have, like, you see there, one thing I have noticed about Eco is that they don't really feign. Like, you can kind of you have an idea of where they're going. As soon as they start putting pressure somewhere, it feels like it's like somewhat of inevitable of when they're going to get there. And especially with that Fade ultimate, it can be so dangerous up against those players. And yeah, you can see the rotations already coming over. They see presence over towards C, and straight away people are starting to feign over there.
Yeah, that could have been a frag for Samo, and that would have been big as well, taking away the initiator in Alex here. That would be so nice. With no breach, it becomes much harder to crack open these sites, especially with the kind of aggressive defense we're seeing from Mike here.
And now the game has kind of slowed down a little bit. Eco, as I was just mentioning, their lenience to just going towards a bomb site, they will come back. But Mike, he kind of had the same idea as me. You can see his aggression. Mercedes Peak is baiting him in perfectly. Mike, he doesn't get the trigger to him, but it does not matter. He uses ultimate. He gets him a 3rd. Could be going for a 4th. Ooh, just about misses that shot, but he's still going for it, throwing his paint shells. Classic is out. He's going for Ryan, and he will find the frag. He gets it with the paint shells in the end. Gladius, they win their 4th round off the back of Mike, and that is absolutely stupendous from him.
I'm so glad, honestly, to see Mike succeeding, right? In the game we saw first today from Gladius, Mike was bottom fragging, right? He wasn't having the greatest game,
he's doing pretty well now.
He had 7 first frags. He was absolutely kill it on playing for their team. This time, he's let loose. He's on that raise. He feels so comfortable on this map, and 11 frags already in 6 rounds. That shows just how much he brings to the team.
I mean, what more do you want? Mike is putting up a masterclass right now. A lot of these rounds, I feel like these past 2 or 3 have basically been down to him. Nice bit of utility there. Oh, absolutely perfect. Mike, this is his world, and we're just living in it right now.
Yeah, fantastic way to get rid of that Neon, that pesky Neon you were talking about earlier, so she can't really run onto that site, create space for their team, and as a result, you've got a lot more ways to kind of deal with these problems in terms of the retake and in terms of all the utility you have to stop pushes.
I feel like, especially, again, from just like the limited stuff I've been watching, looking at the Fade and Reyes duo, looking at the use of utility and how they can work together, I feel like one of the most important characters, like one of the most, the best players that, characters that can work together is Fade and Reyes. Like, their abilities work so well in synergy, and we've seen it once already here. Hopefully we can see it more. Mercedes Peak, he's going for that Mercedes Peak onto the Omen, but it won't be successful right now. Actually gets tagged down to 29 HP, so we've got to be careful.
Yeah, it has to back off here. Doesn't want to get caught and lose themselves an advantage right now. Two ultimates available apiece. One being that wall, but one... Oh, no! Alex is taken off the board, and now it's only a single ultimate available for the attacking side. Can EKO convert this one? That's a big question. They have access to the A site, but what are they going to do with it? Wizzing potentially getting aggressive, but no, choosing to lurk a little bit here. So this dark cover goes on in. They're going to be able to get that spike on down. I
mean, this is a really interesting round, because they shouldn't necessarily be winning this. The spike actually does go down eventually. Wizzing puts it into a 3v3. The rotations are just not there as well. Like, look at where Gladius are. You have Chambers just leaving the oversea now. You have Astra still just chilling in Defender's spawn. Raze in the form of Mike is the only player that's anywhere remotely close, and he's been smoked off by Omen, so he's just kind of chilling and waiting, and now the Astra will use her ultimate, and so will Fade. Oh, hold on a second. This is starting to get a little bit dangerous now for Gladius. Eco, they get lined up, and Wizzing gets a 4K. Superb from him. He opens up that A bomb site. He walks in. He allows for the spike to come in, and, well, he finishes them off. We've seen the Chamber's been really effective. We have seen Samo, he's done well so far. Only 3 kills, but both of them have been really good. And Wizzing, he's trying to rival Mike right now. Very, very nice indeed.
Yeah, really impressed with that, honestly, and especially because EKO, they used utility, they used those ultimates in order to counteract the Celestial Divide, the Astral Divide that could have come on in. And managed to kind of keep the space, because otherwise Mike was going to, I believe Mike was going to go hog wild as he dropped on down there. But as a result, Wizzing was able to hold his position. He didn't have to rotate out and was able to just destroy those players as they came on in. And they may have thought he would have rotated away because he was holding that position earlier, but he gets such a good double spray down because they just weren't expecting him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super, super nice. He gets the 4K. We've seen so many 4Ks today, yet to see an ace in this game, that is. I'm waiting to see one. I want to see one. I want to see. We've been so close so many times, and hopefully this is the one. Looking over the ultimates, neither team is looking that fresh. Samo, as we were talking about economy, he does have the Tour de Force, so they could potentially be working around that, but no, they're going to buy into just the rifles with the Vandals and the Phantoms, and now Eco grouping up towards this C bomb site. There's no one there really whatsoever. Astra's about to be smoked off, and, well, the red carpet's been rolled out, and C has pretty much been given for free to Eco, and... yeah, but I mean, there's not much to say about it. The retake's going to have to come in, and this is not going to be an easy one whatsoever. 5v5 is going to be an absolute bloodbath now.
Yeah, and there's no ultimates like in the previous round which can be used to just blow on through. So they're going to have to do it properly, using that utility effectively. Samo takes a first, almost goes for a second, but not quite able to make it. Wizzing spraying around is eventually going to go down here as Mercedes Peak pushes on forward, and they're going to force them back into long.
Yeah, well, do they have anything to really deal with this? The spike will be tapped, but the spam comes through. That's one player dead. No one's body blocking. Khan is basically just standing around. And Eco, they've been fed this one. They've basically just win this for free. Shirasky just goes absolutely huge with a 3K. I think most of their damage was just spam. They just spammed through their smokes. And, well, I'm not even too sure what happened with Gladius. They just sat there and just accepted it.
They were just like, yeah, I guess we'll sit on the spike and take all the damage.
Yeah.
Big mistake here, honestly, from Gladius. They really could have picked up that round if they'd gotten a little bit more aggressive, if they'd done something. But they did not have access to Cam. So that meant that they didn't have access to the flashes, which were going to be so key in how they wanted to play that round. And without access to the Astra after Halsey got picked, well, from there on out, you have so little to play with. You have to push them or find something or try and stick it. But sticking it, as we can clearly see, just doesn't work.
Well, we've seen them get success towards the C-bomb site once before. Looks like it could be somewhat the same. Only one defender here momentarily. Mike will be rotating in. We've seen how dangerous Mike has been, and he's already going to explode with that first frag. Spam through the smoke. Isn't going to land more than, I think, a tick of damage onto the breach. And now, look at the momentum of Eco right now. It's been completely halted, and it looks like they don't know what to do. They're letting Wizzy play with this. Wizzy, this round pretty much all in his hands, unless Milka just goes and dies. So Wizzy, he's going to have to do a lot more than get this one frag here. He's going to have to just go and continue. But the fact he's been brought down to 51 HP is even more detrimental.
Yeah, it's not a good look, but with Cam down, they now have a chance to really make this work. Trades back and forth, Samo does get something, but with Mike dead, there's no one left on site.
And now it's a 2v2. Wizzing, I think, actually got another frag. I said he had to. He did that exact same thing. Now, the retake will come in for Gladius. It felt like this round was always theirs to win, and it should never have been this close. Samo, go for that first frag. Do they check the close left? Alex, they don't, but it does not matter. Mercedes Peak, the player you mentioned at the very, very beginning, will be the savior for Gladius, and it will put them back into the lead.
Yeah, Mercedes Peak eventually finds the spike, so we'll be able to sit on that one and get the defuse there. So really well played, honestly, by Gladius here to pick that up after what looked like a pretty dire situation. They lost the players on site. They had no control, and because they were a little bit confused about how the map was going to rotate, they took all their players off. They were thinking, oh, they failed on C. They must be teleporting away, but no. EKO doubled down, bided their time, and as a result, almost, only almost, but almost found that round.
All I'm saying right now is Fade diff and Chamber diff on the server right now. It feels like there's quite like you've got one Fade doing really well, you've got one Chamber doing really well, and let's see how this sets up going into the future as well. Looking over the duelists, I feel like Eco could be in a bit of a disadvantage that they don't have someone like Mike just popping off, making so much space. And the fact that Mike is doing that on the defensive side, what's he going to be like on attack when he's just bouncing through with that with his satchel packs? He definitely will be a nuisance for the Eco side. And now Gladius trying to hold down, and I think the A-bomb site will be the point of contention.
Well, indeed, Mike looking for a chance to hold this one down. You can see Shiraishi looking for a chance to push on through, but doesn't commit towards it yet again. Haven is a low and slow map. You can rotate around. You can really play the macro game as long as your team is willing to do so.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's nice to see it slow down a little bit, them just take some map control. But to be honest, we do say that they haven't actually taken much map control. Like, we're only just starting to get towards middle here, and we're only just starting to get towards Garage, where the Astra is holding. The breach utility is not effective. Swings out with the shotgun, but no avail. And, well, the slow pay, it is very much successful. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Eco, they have a two-man advantage. The Astra smoke in towards Garage, it's just actually going to block them off, and it's not going to really allow any info. While in the meantime, looking over at the A-bomb side, Fade has crept all the way up, and it's a really weird one because Samo, he's about 5 seconds just too late in towards middle. He's not going to catch anything, and I think Eco, this round is pretty much theirs to win.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick this one up relatively easily. There goes Samo and EKO in a very strong position right now, with the two remaining Gladius players having to push on in through so much. Even the Neon will be able to make it out here. Concussion hits onto Mike, but he still stays his ground. He still feels up to the task. Unfortunately, he was misinformed.
Yeah, misinformed, and, well, Calm, I think he's on 1 kill, if I'm not mistaken. So he's having a rough one. Definitely one to look at, stepping up going into the future of this one. And neck. God, this has been a very close game. I feel like each round, we're just going into it, and it's like, no team is being able to separate. One round feels really one-sided, and the next it goes straight back to being the other way.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the big mistake here that we're seeing from both teams is both going, okay, we need to be patient, and then they're patient. And then the next round, they forget that they need to be patient. And they're like, oh, no, we need to go back to being patient. They keep on over-aggressing, for example, in what we saw there, right? Halsey was like, okay, I've got the judge. This could be perfect for me. I could get a 2K. Pops out and actually gets the wrong kind of timing and doesn't find the shots with the judge. It's tragic to see, and as a result, they lost quite a lot here. And because they were way too up and aggressive, Calm actually finds that second frag.
Yeah, sorry, what is happening in this round right now? They've forced so much on towards this C-bomb site, and Halsey is only just going to get noticed there. Eco, looking like this will be a pretty easy one. The Headhunter will attempt to find some frags, but it's actually going to be the classic over on Mercedes Peak. Samo still looking for that just elusive headshot, and now is going to be in a 1v3. The Fade making so much space here as well, especially with like the fact that the breach flashes. The Fade is just being able to use that with her wall is perfect. They're just getting onto the C bomb site, and you can see what they do is they put it up in the middle and then clear one side of C, see no one's there, and then go clear the rest of the bomb site, get the bomb down, and it's free for them basically.
Last round before the
Gladius actually get a decent amount of eco damage there, taking down 3 players in that round, which I think honestly is a really good sign for them, because things did not look so good. They'll be able to buy up in this last round. They're very close to quite a few ultimates, so that's something as well you got to keep in mind, because they have lots of ways to make that retake happen. For example, Mercedes Peak with the Fade can definitely open up quite a lot, and also the showstopper for Mike. I mean, we haven't seen him have too much success. It's been kind of a very scrambly situation where he's been able to do it, but I think he could definitely make so much space with that one. But with Mercedes Peak already down, that's really going to sing, because that's that Fade, that information gatherer, and that player who could really set you up with that ultimate, just unable to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the chamber diff, and that's exactly it. Mike, with his ultimate, will pull it out, not find anything. The satchel didn't get him what he wanted. Calm, he's really been unsuccessful so far in this game. Definitely quite lackluster for me, and Mike, the hero of Gladius, will fall once again. Whizzing, he's been on absolute fire, and he's been supported by his teammates, where I feel like, looking over on the Gladius side, we've had Mike. Anyone else?
I mean, to an extent, Mercedes Peak, but they haven't been playing around Mike like I was kind of asking for. But certainly have had some stand-up performances. I think Mercedes Peak has definitely delivered at the very least here. But unfortunately, Samo has delivered straight to hell, buddy.
Whizzing is genuinely... Oh, he's gone for a 3K. Yeah, he's actually owning them right now. He's over on the eco side, and you can best believe, as soon as he stops throughout to get a kill, you can best believe down below us right now, they are screaming. You were talking about how eco were quite a hyped team, and I can believe that. I saw them during the lunch break, and I was like, you know what? This team looks like a team that's having fun.
What gave it away that they looked like they're having fun?
It's just, you know, when, like, I noticed this a lot. When I was in LAN in Sweden, looking at teams and just how they interacted and how they were there, you could really tell the mentality of how they played the game, how they approached actually being there. Like, Finest, I'm looking at CS here, I apologize, but like, they're there for vibes. They're happy to be there, they're just excited, they're making jokes, they're cracking, they're all smiling, and it translates into the server.
At some point.
You look at some teams, like, straight-faced, it's like, you know, sometimes they're professional, sometimes it's just like, it's just not the mentality you want to have. And looking at a team, you see them at lunch break all smiling. The difference that honestly does make is I don't think it can be understated as much as it can be. And now, looking back into this one, however, Whizzing, he could be in a dangerous position here. He gets nothing with that Headhunter, and Mercedes Peak, someone that you did hype up, will be getting that frag. Both chambers are out for the count right now. The spike does go down, and finally some success for the EKO roster. However, for the Gladius roster. Oh, hold on a second. I thought for some reason I got mixed up. I forgot we switched over. And now EKO, they're going to try on the retake, and it's all just crumbling down.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they're just not winning out those jewels, and that's a really nice one for Gladius, honestly, managing to deliver on multiple fronts, not just one person popping off there. A collective of them delivering some of those frags finally to the board, and we were talking about what is it like when Mike now gets to be on that attacking side, when he gets to be a lot more free, when he gets to support a bit more from the rest of their team. But the rest of the squad as well really likes to get up and aggressive. That's the thing about Gladius, is they're very happy to get down and dirty with you, and I would not be surprised to see them really take control on this attacking side.
I mean, honestly, I feel like we're going to have to see, especially looking over at the chamber on Eco there. He's been so good. He's been so effective. Oh, hold on a second. Mike has just been absolutely obliterated right there with the Sheriff. That was such a nice shot. Bye. Everything you were just saying, you can just clean that away. Mike is out. Mike's done. He's been sit down. He's been sat down, and hold on a second. These upgraded pistols and upgraded weaponry are starting to be a little bit too dangerous.
I mean, that's the thing. You've always got to be worried in Valorant. These pistol rounds, they're not weak. I mean, sure, they're not the strongest you could ask for, and you're into those Spectres, which can be very scary, but you look at a Sheriff, and I'm like, you could still easily lose that. I mean, we see it time and time again.
You hit your shots, type thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
right?
It's like, you can't really do much if you go into it, and someone just like Shirashi, second kill for him with that Sheriff, just clean. Like, what can you do realistically if you don't use your utility, and ability is good enough? Right now, speaking about utility, we both have the Breach and the Fade there. I mean, it's the two characters you want who can use abilities to push off these pistols. And, well, it doesn't really matter. Wizzing, I think, only had 1 bullet left in that Headhunter, and will find the head of Mercedes Peak. And it's all down to Calm now. He's had such a slow game, and I think he could be put in the bin here. Shirashi missing the shots, which he was not doing earlier. Really missing those shots. Not being very effective whatsoever. Did he go for the knife there?
I think he did.
I think he attempted.
I love it.
It was a bit cheeky. I mean, in the end, there was no real, there was no need for him to not go for the knife. Like, it doesn't really matter, I guess. There's actually no reason for him to like stay alive in that one. He had no armor. There was pretty much, he was gonna have to buy up completely anyways. And well, what an upset! What a very, very nice round from Eco. They win the Eco, and I hate the name. I hate the fact the name's Eco. Why did they do that?
Just call them EKO like
EKO. I don't know. I think I grew up with their CS Eco and just been like corrected every other game with them. EKO. EKO won the Eco.
They did indeed. Honestly, it was really impressive to find them just hitting those headshots. Sometimes you had 9 hours of sleep last night and you're just hitting everything. And well, sometimes utility just does, well, obviously it matters, but it just doesn't count enough to stop you from having your cake and eating it.
Yeah, but talking about us now, the retake is going to have to come in fully fledged for EKO because Gladius, they've completely dominated this B-bomb site, and it does not matter because Wissing is just destroying them. Wissing with this Vandal has just gone, yep, you know what, you can get the spike down, but I'm going to do it one better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There was a little bit of hope there, but no, 9 will be collected for the EKO side. And Gladius, you were saying they were unbeaten in their group right now. I think this could potentially be the time where EKO maybe push them over a little bit.
Not what I expected to see, honestly. Obviously, 4th seed from Gladius, feeling very comfortable. Obviously, the other undefeated team is the 2nd seed. And here, 8th seed, actually managing to deliver, honestly, a very punishing game in the last couple of rounds. Like the second half of the previous half and kind of then onwards. They've looked so strong. I've been really impressed with EKO. And I'm absolutely here for it, right? As we said before, good vibes makes such a big difference, and EKO are absolutely running on that right now and running over their opponents as a result.
Yeah, I mean, they're just playing on vibes, and when your chamber's just absolutely destroying everyone in front of you, it's perfect. And then when your Fade is winning that duelist battle early on, Mike, that's actually nice paint shells. Does a lot of damage to Milka there, put down to 50 points of HP, does get away, but barely though.
Yeah, a lot of damage to take from those paint shells early on, and there's no healing, no nothing on this squad right now. No Sky, no Sage, so going to have to be stuck on that health for the remainder of the round and could easily get tagged up, especially with these full auto rifles now in the hands of Gladius as they really want to start to contest it. And this is where they had some success, at least prior, so wouldn't be surprised to see them deliver yet again here with those weapons. They're a lot more deadly than on the pistol.
Yeah, that smoke completely stops them. Michael's going to go straight through that. He's going to lead the charge from Garage, almost into Defender spawn, and Wissing basically teleporting straight in front of them, and he will lose his life. Mike holding for that very, very successfully. They're trying to shift on towards this C-bomb site right now, but Milka, he's the only defender. He'll lose his life after one frag. The Fade ultimate will come in for Gladius, and it's going to be a very, very difficult retake coming in for EKO. The spike has not been planted yet, because actually in the middle of open, hasn't even clocked out. The spike is in the hands of the defenders. It's going to be a very hard one for Gladius, but Halsey, he's going to do so well effectively. Now it's all down to the Fade, but Halsey, he gets those 2 final frags, and Gladius, they do salvage one back, but they've been on the back foot this whole game. Is this the time where they finally shine through? Is this the time where they start mounting a comeback and start contesting EKO and show us why they're undefeated in their group?
I mean, it's going to be hard for them, right? They don't have all the econ they were really looking for. Look at that. Look at the armor. Look at the fact that their econ is rather shot, at least on 2 of those players, and maybe a third, you could argue, for Mercedes Peak here. It's really going to sting that they lost so many players in the previous round. And with the operator on board for Wissing, with the judge in hand for Rewind, I am absolutely here for the kind of chaos EKO are looking to cause. And with the lockdown on this C site, locking down this C site with that long-range weapon could really be brutal, especially if we see these chambers duel at it.
Yeah, I mean, this game is getting very, very close. I thought for a second that EKO were about to run away with it. I thought they were about to hit double digits, and I was like, okay, you've got 3 rounds basically, and you're going to be taking this game, but no. Gladius, they are here to fight. If they convert this next round, I am starting to look a little bit hopeful for them.
I believe they definitely can pull it back, but they're up against a lot of pressure right now. Shiraishi has been hitting their shots left, right, and center in this half, and now with a Vandal in hand, could easily shut down this push.
Ooh.
They used a Rolling Thunder. They really want to win this one. They're investing a decent amount here, but with a counter Rolling Thunder coming on through, they're not even able to make it on site, and actually, they're the ones who lose a player.
How has this happened? EKO, I said that they were in the driving seat, and now they are showing why. Gladius with a man deficit already. 45 seconds left, and they've barely even got close towards this A bomb site. They are 3 defenders here on A, just waiting for them to come into their hands. They've still got a little bit of utility left, but now it's going to start coming in. The Fade trying to block them off. He'll get pinched from both sides. He doesn't have support from his team, and Mike, he is entering very spectacularly. Shirazi's only good for that first, and Calm will finally deliver in this game. He'll give them the man advantage. A spike will go down, but look at this from EKO. They feel like they might still want to go for this.
They might indeed. Rest of them still sitting back, making sure they don't overextend. A double push might not be bad here from EKO, but they are forced on back, and they might readjust and kind of go, is this still something we want to push? They're going to push from 2 different angles now, wait for that barrier to go on down, and without the line of sight blocking, it might make things a little easier here for Milka to put in the pressure from on high as they're looking for a chance to strike someone down here. Halsey might just be that.
I mean, the time is ticking down. They don't have, they can't wait around forever. They haven't initiated anything just yet, and as I'm saying that, Wizzing gets the first kill with the AWP. They're going in 2v2. Milka will reveal himself, and I think that is time. Wizzing only go for that first frag. He will save this AWP into the next round, and we are 1 apiece between these 2 teams.
Now, the thing I want to highlight yet again, however, is what I talked about before this round. Look at the Econ right now, if we can get like a shift on up and see the weapons. Wait to see that if it comes on up. But the eco for the attacking side, for Gladius, is not the best. It's going to be a little bit ramshackle. I don't think they're all going to have rifles or the armor. Yeah, look, pistol there for Mike.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. They're going to have to buy up for him, and I don't think that's a bad shout. I think you want Mike with a gun.
Yeah, I mean, Mike has been doing pretty well so far, but on the duality of it, the money is not good for EKO whatsoever. So if Gladius are able to do this a little bit cleanly, I feel like this could favor them going into the long run with stabilizing momentarily and actually getting that shift in momentum. And, well, this is definitely a good start. Calm, he's finally delivering right now. He's been getting, he's steadily getting a few more kills than he was before. And Mike, yet again, he gets 1 kill. He puts his finger in the pie.
Oh, Milka thought there was a chance to get out there and maybe cause some havoc, but the second usage of the Prowler does actually catch him off guard, and now Wizzing's going to have to be the player to pop off with the Operator at close quarters. I mean, hey, he's a highlight reel player. I'd certainly love to see more, but brings out the pistol. Unfortunately, it's not enough to get more than 1, and Milka is caught between a rock and a hard place in trying to pick up this round. They move out, someone will take him down, but if they move forward, well, there's 3 players awaiting them.
I love the chat in people are typing in chat both teams, and I love the fact that we can see that as well. It's so funny. Both of them just talking to each other. But Gladius, they will even it to 9 apiece. 13 is the magic number, and we're getting very close to that. And right now, I honestly can't split these 2 teams apart. It feels like every single round is a different game.
It really does, and it's great to see these teams adapting to each other as well, showing us what they can really do.
Got 27 frags.
I know, he's been popping off, man.
You know when you're like, oh, he's doing well, and then you're like, oh, he's doing well. Mike as well, I didn't think he was close to me. Like, it feels like it's a game of 2 people. Mike, and then Wizzing, and then Alex has been the... I haven't, like... You know when you're just like, oh, you're getting kills? Like, I did not realize that. I did not see Alex getting that much. Like, Shirishi, I feel like he's had loads of impact, but maybe 12 kills. The impact kills. He just, well, you know, he gets kills with impact.
I mean, he's doing a lot of entering. That's the thing. That's why you're thinking Shiraishi, and you're like, oh, okay, this has been Shiraishi running forward on the Neon, right? You're going to remember that because it's that...
And that one Deagle round where he got a 3k, yeah.
Yeah, whereas you're looking at the Initiator, and especially when it's Breach, and you're like, okay, Breach got a frag because he followed up off of some utility or was like there to refrag from someone. That's the big difference. So I will say, while obviously in the kill counts it's not very high for some of these players, but 13 assists, I believe, on EKO's Fade. So showing just how much that character can bring to you. Shiraishi is trying to bait out some shots here. The Rhythm doesn't commit towards it, and as a result, Gladius don't find that shot preemptively.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very important round going into the longevity of it. Gladius, they did keep a fair few players alive last round, so it's kind of not the end of the world when it comes to economy, but Mike is going to charge in here with a satchel pack and the ultimate. However, Shirishi, we were talking about frags, and he's definitely going to elevate himself right now. 3-piece for him, all down to Mercedes piece. Nice little one-tap onto Shirishi there, trying to get Milka, but he has teleported away. He's got 2 players in front of him and 1 coming from behind, but look where the spike is. It's all the way down on C long. There's no way he can get anywhere near that. He just get timed a little bit. They know where he is. He's going going to be just captured upon. A missed shot as well, I think, from Wizzing. He will peek back into it. Will not find the frag, but 20 seconds left. Does he have enough time to go towards this A-bomb site? I'm not sure. He picks up a new Vandal, and he's running. He's trying to go for it. Wizzing is going to try cut him off, and he'll do so effectively. Another one in the tank for him, but Sharisi, what a free piece for him. He holds down that bomb site, and single-handedly will elevate Eco onto double digits.
Sharisi with a really impressive performance. And we were talking about, hey, on that Neon, when you get frags,
you get
cool
frags.
As hell. And Sharisi showed us that with aplomb. Fantastic play there, and showing us just the kind of movement you can get with that character. She is so fast, so maneuverable, and so stylish.
Yeah, and especially looking over at Gladius, I did say because they kept so many players alive in that against that eco round, they will be able to buy into these Vandals. So it's going to be 5 Vandals versus 5 Vandals. We don't have an opt-out in this round. It's like we haven't seen it out on the defense really. We've seen it out a little bit. But talking about the Neon, just like already got an opening frag.
Yeah, it shows up yet again, and honestly, I'm so impressed they managed to find that one. Sharisi is just on top of everything right now. And when you get a hot streak, that's important to kind of keep on. We saw that it was so key for some of these players in previous games.
Hello, Mike.
Well, here it seems to be happening right again as Mike in the back of sight here, looking to give Gladius a fighting chance.
Yeah, those paint shells are going to be really good to force back the fade. And you can see, yeah, he's going to run all the way back towards defender's form. The spike will go down on towards this B-bomb site. And it's going to be a win because you're going to have a retake from both angles. And this, I mean, Eco, they have got the man advantage. And I feel like this could be theirs for taking, especially with the utility coming in now. Breach alongside Fade, just being troublesome for this Gladius side. And it's going to grant them some frags. Ooh, back in both actually. Gladius, they're actually getting the frags. Gladius are holding down quite strong, but Wizzing is still alive. You can never count out Eco and Wizzing and Sharisi alive. All down to Calm. He's at a slower one so far. The spike is going to get tapped. It's going to get half so far. He's might actually stick it, but no, Sharisi on for a 3K. Wizzing got the other 2. Perfect from those 2 players. We keep on highlighting them, and they will step up once again. 11-9. Potentially, are they putting Gladius an end to their unbeaten streak so far?
Oh my lord, EKO are turning up right now. And where there's a will, there's a way, and there's so much will behind EKO. Great vibes. And great play from Wizzing, and now Shiraishi really stepping up in this second half is just such a good thing to look at. And they're doing it so coolly, right? Sometimes, you see the teams and they're like, we're playing the macro game, which I love to see, don't get me wrong. But when you see someone doing it as coolly as Wizzing does, constantly aggressive with that chamber, with Shiraishi just sliding around at the speed of sound, it's fantastic and so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you want right now? Gladius, they will be on this lower bike, to me, and the tour de force from Samo will find absolutely nothing. That's the second round in a row that Sharisi has picked off Samo straight away within like 10 seconds. And EKO, they're definitely going to be in somewhat of an advantage. These pistols, they're going to have to sing, and they're going to have to hit every single note correctly, but I'm not sure if they have the ability to.
Yeah, it's time to sing for your supper. It's do or die time, honestly. If they lose this, the recon is not going to be particularly great either. Gladius have so little to work with here. You can see the rest of EKO swarming around this A site, expecting that push to come on through. They even invest the Fade Ultimate, and it does hit one person, but only one person. They catch Halsey in the midst of it as well, and as Mike tries to escape, such a big mistake as Gladius are now under so much pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the Fade Ultimate was a little bit unneeded because they didn't, they got all the kills, just without the Fade Ultimate. Yeah. I guess it kind of split them up, though, a little bit, and it did put them into a little pandemonium. Like, you see that coming in, you get a little bit scared. But regardless of that, EKO, they are on match point, and Wizzing is having the game of his life, 31-11. Sharisi, 21-13, and Alex still plodding along. The other 2 definitely struggling a little bit. I feel like on both teams, you have 2 players that are struggling. The problem is on Gladius, you have Samo that's struggling. Not the player you want to see. No. And this could be our final round. Gladius, they're unbeaten, 5-0. Maybe coming to an end.
Yeah, I honestly, shout out to the fact that even though you have 4 frags on Rewind, they're able to get so many assists and put so much up for their team. That's a big difference maker as well, and kind of why it's so bad that the Chamber is not delivering those frags. Pressure starts to come on in. They're looking for chances to push towards Garage, but still the rest of the team playing that slow game plan. You do not have to commit towards anything on this map, but they commit in and get taken down by Alex here.
Oh, this is looking so good, but
my
Calm,
Lord.
Hold on a second. He has found his hands going into the second part of this game, and it's proving very pivotal for Gladius. He's on very low HP, but he's granted them the man advantage over EKO. However, in the end, Wizzing is still alive, and that is the scary part.
Yeah, anywhere you push right that has a long range, you do not want to be in the receiving end of Wizzing, who is looking for a chance here. Doesn't have the Tour de Force out, but would be happy with the Vandal. But the Rolling Thunder comes on in. They get the kill regardless of it. And this looks like it could be a chance for them to move to double digits.
Indeed, and I think that's going to be the case. EKO now, not in the most ideal position going into this round, but again, they do have that comfort blanket of having that match point. But the retake is still in. They're still going to go for it. There's only one man disadvantage now. Any kill they get right now is good for the economy going into the longevity of it. And Rein just seeing what he can do, playing around, throwing out his utility, just being a pest. If he can get one more kill here, I feel like it's a win in their books, even though it's a loss.
Yeah, I think any piece of damage you're going to get, as you said, because the eco is so weak for Gladius, is going to make things very, very difficult here. But Mike holds down, denies a lot away from them, and double digits finally hit for Gladius here. Do you think they can make the comeback? Do you think we can make it to overtime? No, you don't. Okay.
When you have someone like, I feel like they're delaying the inevitable right now, and that's just the fact that I'm seeing a player like Mike not step up as much as I thought that he would on the attackers. I'm seeing a player like Wizzy only get even better on the defensive side, and unless that starts to prove wrong within, like, now, really? If that proves wrong now.
He has to step up now,
yeah. I mean, like, if he does, then I feel like he has the ability to, but I just don't, I don't see it happening. Which is I know contradictory, like has the ability but I don't see it happening, kind of contradictory in itself. But I think we've just it's been too late. I think if we're going to see it, we'd have seen it already. And weirdly enough, Mike was better over on the defensive side, and well, that's a good start. Wizzing picks off Samo yet again for an opening frag. He has been giving up opening frags left, right, and center. However, as he does do that, EKO falls into a man deficit.
Gladius, they actually find such fantastic frags to set them up for this one. Shiraishi and Alex getting ready for that retake, and I certainly believe they can do it. They've got two really important ultimates for that retake right now. Do they invest them? That's the big question.
I mean, especially with that Astra ultimate coming down, I feel like they'll put them, because the Astra ultimate right here is really smart. Gladius aren't contesting it. But what they're doing is they're forcing EKO to contest it with their utility. So they forced out some utility to get over there. Shiraishi is going to now understand that everyone's over towards C-Long. He's going to pull up his wall. And they are going to tap to Spike, but I feel like that could be it. Shiraishi getting some frags here, puts it down to a 2v2. Mike is being hunted down. Shiraishi's got 3 frags. It's all onto Alex, and he will pick up that kill. EKO, they will get the elusive number 13. On a retake, you were even questioning if they should go for it. And Gladius's unbeaten record will come to an end, and wow, what an end! What a game we've just seen.
Yeah, shout out to EKO as well, because, as I said, that ultimate wasn't necessarily going to land in the way they wanted to, but Shiraishi steps up to the plate, and that is the story of the end of that game, right? Shiraishi delivers, and sure, you know, we saw fantastic stuff from Wizzing the entire way through, but Shiraishi's going to be the one I definitely remember with some spicy plays like that, delivering EKO a win over the 4th seed Gladius, when they themselves are only 8th, so that shows you just how much they're outdoing their seeding right now, and I'm certainly excited to see more from them.
Yeah, I mean, especially what you're saying, if Neon gets a kill, Neon gets a kill. But with that all said, congratulations to EKO, and we'll be heading over to a small break before the next game. Thank you very much. My name's been Freddie or Gummy Rana. I've been here with Rook. Been a pleasure. You've been guiding me through the Valorant. And don't go too far, because we'll be back with you after the break with Brandon and the other Pritchard.